sing America. You remember that song? In time to come. We're not saying America will have a black president again. You know why? Obama passed. We don't say that already. Well, you know what America never had? We never had a gay. We never had a gay president. Yeah, so we're going to say that. There you go. Well, look at me the chorus. All right? Yeah, everybody having sex at home. Everybody having sex at home now. All right, there you go. Chorus, eh? Kaiso. This is the year 2000. 2000. This Kaiso had 23 verses. I only will sing 3 tonight. It'll be too long. Never let us singers. Yesterday has come and gone, leaving some of us to mourn. Times we had and friends we lost, and while the tear took its course, we have seen the many faces of slavery. We have seen the British Empire fall. We have seen Hitler's contribution to history. We have seen the rise and fall of the Berlin Wall. We have seen famines. We have seen wars, as you well imagine. We have seen nothing yet because in time to come, America will have a gay president. In time to come, there's going to be an active world government. In time to come, the world will see human life cheaper than dirt. In time to come, from outer space, aliens will land on the earth. Team Africa will win the World Cup. Marijuana will sell in the shop. Science will produce bread out of stone and then create the first human clone. Technology will reach a new high. Buses and cars will fly in the sky. Trinidad will make a nuclear bomb. In time to come. In time to come. Oh, in time to come. Yes, man. We have some new verses, you know. Well, you know, Africa win the World Cup this year. France had 5 Africans played for them. Yeah, man. Moving from the dark ages, man has progressed in stages. Through the stone and iron age, till we turn another page. And we saw the adventures of Alexander, waging war in his obsession for conquest. Inventions like the chariot and the saber, the weapons that put Europe under duress. Mankind achievements sometimes were great, and its glorious romance mark the passage of time. But wait, let me tell you, mankind will have a colony on the moon. In time to come, this calypso will be a top 40 tune. In time to come, scientists will synthesize silver and gold. In time to come, people will have real sex by remote control. The first dead man will come back alive. Cancer and AIDS victims will survive. Babies will born with mustache and beard. Penis and kidneys will be repaired. The government will ban cigarettes. Breakfast and lunch will be a tablet. A 2-year-old will split the atom. In time to come. In time to come. In time to come. One more verse. You have plenty calypso not to sing. Oh, yo, that's the main verse. This is the big verse. boy. Nowadays, the things we see have us in a quandary, wondering what will be next in the world of science and sex. We have seen already the tacit acceptance by the world regarding same-gender romance. And we know that according to modern science, life or death could depend on the circumstance. Communication take over now, and in man's expectation, there is nothing time would allow. In time to come, an exorcist will capture living ghosts. In time to come, scientists will make the people come back ghosts. In time to come, the Indian East Indian will win the Calypso crown. In time to come, scientists will make old people come back young. Advertisements will light up the skies, and holograms will dazzle the eyes. Women will walk naked in the tongue. Things will go up and never come down. To go to Tobago, people will walk. Monkey and dog will learn how to talk. Satmarat will have a Negro grandson. In time to come, mark my word. In time to come. In time to come. Yeah, man. All right, we have another singer side.
Hello and good evening and welcome to Politics 101 on a Monday evening. And it's good to be here. It's good to be here. And in time to come, we have young Ravoldo Birbal on tonight. He's going to be here shortly. Young Ravoldo Birbal. Crazy in time to come, making predictions as the Calypsonians normally. We're gonna listen to some more of Crazy while we share the live.
Yesterday has come and gone, leaving some of us to mourn. Times we had and friends we lost, and while nature took its course, we have seen the many faces of slavery. We have seen the British Empire fall. We have seen Hitler's contribution to history. We have seen the rise and fall of the Berlin Wall. We have seen famine. We have seen wars. As you well imagine, we have seen nothing yet because in time to come, America will have a black president. In time to come, there's going to be an active world government. In time to come, the world will see human life cheaper than dirt. In time to come, from outer space, aliens will land on the earth. Team Africa will win the World Cup. Marijuana will sell in the shop. Science will produce bread out of stone and then create the first human clone. Technology will reach a new high. Buses and cars will fly in the sky. Trinidad will make a nuclear bomb. In time to come, let me hear you looking about. In time to come. In time to come. In this new millennium, we're going to see some strange things happening. Papa la papa le do 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 papa para para lo para le. moving from the dark ages. Man has progressed in stages through the stone and iron age till we turn another page. And we saw the adventures of Alexander waging war in his obsession for conquest. Inventions like the chariot and the saber, the weapons that put Europe under duress. Mankind achievements sometimes so great, and its glorious moments mark the passage of time. But wait, in time to come, mankind will have a colony on the moon. In time to come, this calypso will be a top 40 tune. In time to come, scientists will synthesize silver and gold. In time to come, people will have real sex by remote control. The first dead man will come back alive. Cancer and AIDS victims will survive. Babies will born with mustache and beard. Penis and kidneys will be repaired. The government will ban cigarettes. Breakfast and lunch will be a tablet. A 2-year-old will split the atom. I love you. In time to come. In time to come. In a park, all you go see some strange things in this millennium. Mark my words. That day when the Wright brothers, after tremendous horrors, got their little plane to soar, all of mankind stood in awe. Just like when that great scholar Benjamin Franklin discovered what would be electricity. And again, when Sir Alexander in person gave the world the first telephone company. But all of that is a drink of rum in our drinking glasses, compared with what is still to come. An asteroid will destroy New York City. California will submerge under the sea. Almost every athlete will be bionic. Every national park will be Jurassic. Computers will compose Calypso. Explorers will find El Dorado. Man will begin to travel in time. Police will stop adultery and crime. People won't go to church anymore. And there will be a gender world war. Preachers will heal the blind, deaf, and dumb. It's time to come. Get up back in the audio. It's time to come. It's time to come. La ba la ba la ba ba. Guys, trouble. Ba la ba look. Look out, audio. I'm coming now. I'm coming up to audio now. Nowadays, the things we see have us in a quandary, wondering what will be next in the world of science and sex. We have seen already the tacit acceptance by the world regarding same-gender romance. And we know that according to modern science, life or death could depend on the circumstance. Communication take over now, and in man's expectation, there is nothing time won't allow. Let me hear you. An exorcist will capture a living ghost. A transvestite will become its universe. And East Indian will win the Calypso crown. Scientists will make old people come back young. Advertisements will light up the skies, and holograms will dazzle the eyes. Women will walk naked in the tongue. Things will go up and never come down. To go to Tobago, people will walk. Monkey and dog will learn how to talk. Satmarat will have a Negro grandson.
Vintage Calypso there in time to come. Crazy. Good evening to you all, and welcome to Politics 101. The day after the APNU had a rally at Melanie Damishana. Quite a rally there last night. As the election season heats up, the PPP had a big rally also at Albion, and everyone is on the campaign trail as we move towards September 1st. Of course, we are APNU. We are supportive of the APNU. We are on course to win the election, but of course, every vote counts. Every single vote counts. That's what election is about. Every single vote counts. Good evening to you wherever you're joining us from, whether you're joining us from in Guyana or outside of Guyana. Welcome to Politics 101. Those of you who join us from Canada, welcome to Politics 101. Those of you who are joining us from the United States of America, England, old Mother England, as they used to say in the old days. Those of you out there in Europe, in France, in England, the United Kingdom, Great Britain, call it by whatever name. Welcome to Politics 101. A special good evening to the people of the East Coast of Demerara, in particular, Melanie Damishana, where the rally was held last night, the APNU rally last night. The campaign is heating up. It is heating up, and last night the APNU rolled out one of the top candidates, Mr. Paul Williams, former deputy commissioner, who was denied the office of the commissioner, and he, of course, related that last night. Tonight we have on the show a young man who appeared at the launch, young Ravoldo Birbal, who very young man, and he took that stage by storm. And a lot of people have been asking for him to come on to the show. Well, he's on tonight, and we'll talk to him. He's a candidate on the APNU list, and we will talk to him. It's always good to see young people picking up the baton and going with it, running with it. And here is a young man going against the grain, so to speak, and it calls for a lot of bravery. I take my hat off, as you all know, to people who take up that challenge, because it's quite a challenge to take a real brave position in our political environment, where people could be very, very, very thin-skinned, for want of a better term. But young Birbal is here, Ravoldo Birbal, and we're going to talk to him. Please share the link, please share the live, and let everyone know that Politics 101 is on. Ravoldo Birbal the young man who spoke at the launch, the APNU launch 2 weekends ago, and created quite a story, a very moving and passionate speech, very eloquent young man. Well, we'll talk to him tonight. Good evening to all of you, and welcome to Politics 101. Let's bring in Ravoldo, and let's begin the conversation. Ravoldo, good evening, and welcome to Politics 101.
Good evening, Dr. Hines. Good evening to your viewers as well. Pleasant good evening.
Well, the country was introduced to you when you made that presentation at the launch, the APNU launch, a couple of weekends ago. And of course, given the nature of our politics, when someone appears on the platform of a party that does not necessarily is not necessarily seen as a party of the ethnic group that one comes from, there is always a buzz. There is always a stir. How is this young man appearing on a platform that is not, quote unquote, as they say, is natural platform? And so we want to talk about that. But let's start off by you telling us a little bit about yourself. Where were you born? Where you went to school, etc. Ravoldo. Yes, Ravoldo.
Yes, so as you would have all heard at the campaign launch, I am from Mahaica. I am just 23 years of age, and I felt it was necessary to come out and take a stand against a corrupt regime. Being young, being of a different ethnicity may draw a lot of attention towards me from the opposition, who I would say would be in opposition on September the 1st, that is the PPP. I would have drawn a lot of attention from them because of my ethnicity. However, I would say to them that politics is way beyond ethnicity, Dr. Hines.
And where did you go to school? You're from Mahaica. Which part of Mahaica?
Yes,
Mahaica?
I am from Good Hope, Mahaica. I would have attended the St. Stanislaus Secondary School. Then I went on to President's College, and then I started my major in business management and marketing.
And that is at which university?
University of Bedfordshire from London.
Thank you very much, because one has to be very careful. There are some politicians, as you know, can't tell you which university they got their degree from, but that is for another night. Why did you study business management?
So for me, I came from a business background. My family is business oriented. So it was the right choice for me to go into such a field. Also, I think business management is very close to public management as well. And it would have given me the opportunity to venture off into public management in the future, which is a key area if you want to serve the people of your country.
And of course, I understand that you own your own business?
Yes. I own my own business. I have a mini grocery store.
Mini grocery store. And you're how old?
23.
23 years old. Ravoldo Birbal, who is a candidate on the APNU list for the upcoming election. He's speaking with us here tonight. Ravoldo, you were 23 years old, so you would have been born, what, 2002 or thereabout?
Correct. 2002, on the dot.
On the dot. And so in the 23 years, 18 of those years, the PPP has been in power. 5 of those years, the coalition has been in power. And you have decided that you would throw your lot, your support, your energies with the APNU. As you look at the two political forces, why did you choose the APNU?
For me, it was a no-brainer, actually. And there is no comparison between the APNU coalition and the people within this party and the PPP. we stand for something greater than ourselves. We stand for justice. We stand for equality, equity. We stand for what every Guyanese should, have in this country. We stand for the correct distribution of wealth to our people. And for me, it was at the age of, I would say, there and there about 12, 13, that I became conscious of politics and what it is. And I started to follow it from then. As you said, I would have lived 18 years out of the 23 under the PPP regime. And what I saw from that government during that time period, it was very disheartening. The murdering of our young people, our citizens having to take a stand at the back, being treated as second-class citizens. That is why I took a stand and said, what, the coalition, they don't stand for these things. They're the complete opposite of what the PPP is.
Ravoldo, it's often said that young people are not given a chance, that the political landscape is populated by older people, and that young people are sidelined, young people are not encouraged. I want you to comment on that statement. How true or not true it is from your perspective?
As it relates to the APNU coalition, whoever would want to make that statement, I denounce it. This party, under this current leadership at the moment, they are all and all for young people. Young people play a critical role in the decision making within this party at the moment. Policy making and the shaping of policies to benefit all Guyanese. Young people are a part of it because we deserve a say in what what this party has to offer to our country.
And there is Birbal saying that, look, young people in the APNU are encouraged to take up positions and so forth. But as you were coming up, is there any political personality, Guyanese, worldwide, or if not one personality, are there political personalities that you would have looked up to? People would have encouraged you, what they say these days, your heroes, and so forth?
To be very honest, I may not have lived in his days, but Lyndon Forbes Thompson Burnham and Mr. Walter Rodney, I did my research on them, I did my reading on them, and they were two great leaders, two leaders who I would look up to. In the current political landscape, a leader I would look up to are persons like yourself, Mr. David Hines, Mr. Aubrey Norton, and I must say, Ganesh Mahipal. Those are people that I look up to currently because of, the way they go about doing things and the passion they have to serve our people.
Let's talk a little bit about Forbes Burnham. You said Forbes Burnham and Walter Rodney, and let's talk about them. But let's start with Forbes Burnham. You obviously didn't live when Forbes Burnham was a leader and president of Guyana, prime minister. He died in 1985. But what is it, from what you have learned, what you've researched, what you've heard, what is it about Burnham that you admire?
First of all, he had this mantra. Well, we hear certain people saying, grow more food. Well, I would say, come on, man. Forbes Burnham said produce or perish. And as blatant as it is, that is one of the policies or the mantra that he would have lived by that I personally admire, because if you can't produce to sustain yourself, then what are you doing as a country?
Produce or perish. Walter Rodney also died in 1980, long before you were born. What is it about Walter Rodney that you admire?
His advocacy for human rights is second to none when it comes to Guyana. He advocated, and not Guyana alone, worldwide. He advocated for the rights of people worldwide and Guyana. I admire him for that. He was a great leader.
Walter Rodney and Forbes Burnham, a young man, saying that these are two leaders of the past that inspire him. I think we have to be hopeful for Guyana when we hear a young man saying that these were two leaders who did not see eye to eye. But here is a young man saying that he admired both of them. My goodness. Good evening to you and welcome to Politics 101. You're on here tonight. On Monday night, I have young Ravoldo Birbal, who is a candidate, 23 years old, a candidate on the APNU list. You remember, those of you who saw the APNU launch, he gave a riveting a speech at that launch. And since then, people have been singing his praises, a young man, 23 years old, and he is here talking to us tonight. Ravoldo, after the launch, my understanding is that you have spoken at least another meeting. I think you spoke at Bartica. Is that
correct?
So?
Correct.
Talk to us about that experience speaking in Bartica.
For me, speaking in Bartica was something that I was looking forward to because, I would have spoken at the launch, but speaking in Bartica would have brought out a different dimension to my personal skills as it relates to speaking, because you're dealing with different people who have different needs. As you know, Bartica is a mining town, and most people there, they're small miners. So we needed to brought forward policies that would appeal to them. And I'm not saying promises either. We needed to get our commitments to the people of Bartica out there as a whole.
And when you spoke, what particular policy you stressed when you spoke at Bartica?
Well, for instance, I spoke about the need to have our youths being, driven in sports. Bartica is a sports hub for Guyana, especially in terms of football. We have young athletes, footballers like Riley Tracy and Ezekiel Baldeo. I would have done my research on them. I am a football fan, so I would have done my research on them. And to see the system currently neglecting people like that, it is very appalling. I say, why can't they have the resources that are necessary for them to succeed at higher levels of their, their profession or the sport that they're a part of? I went to the multi-purpose facility in Bartica, which is supposed to be, probably the football ground for that place, the main football ground for that place. And the condition in which I saw that place in, it was very disheartening, Dr. Hines. I say that this administration has failed the people when it comes to sports in this country, failed the athletes of our country. Also, I brought out the topic of mining. Our small and medium scale miners are not catered for in this country currently. It is the bigger ones at the top, the friends, the families, and the favorites of this current regime who are reaping the benefits of the mining industry currently. And the small miners in places like Bartica are not getting a fair share. So those are the things that the two most important things that I saw in Bartica that it needed to be addressed.
Let's talk a little bit about sports, because sports is more than just a game for us in the Caribbean, whether it is cricket, football, athletics. Whenever we play sports in the Caribbean, it's passionate. It goes beyond the boundary. It's not just a game. Sometimes sports could become political. Sports have helped to bring some of our poor young people, bring them out of poverty, put them on the world stage. If you had anything to do, if you have anything to do when the coalition win, what would you do differently in sports from what is being done today by the PPP?
Our commitment to the people of Guyana and to the athletes of this country, young budding athletes who represent or who are aiming to represent this country, is to we would want to launch a national sports initiative for them, where, we will introduce programs from the grassroots level, from the school level, right up to the national level and even the international level to cater for them. We need more sports facilities established across Guyana for the different sports that there is. We need more qualified individuals, scouts, and all those things to, come and have a look at our athletes so that they can propel them to greater heights within this country.
And of course, one of the things that is being lamented is that, unlike in the old days when I was a schoolboy, sports was very much part of the school curriculum, and that is no longer the case. Would you advocate for sports to be an integral part of the school curriculum?
It needs to be a part of the school system, an integral part actually of the school system. So we must have a designated amount of time within a school term or a school year dedicated to sports as part of the curriculum within the schools across this country.
Within the schools across this country. Good evening to you if you're just joining us. This is Politics 101 on a Monday night. We're talking tonight with Ravoldo Birbal, who is a young candidate on the APNU list for the upcoming election. He spoke at the launch and he spoke at Bartica a few days ago. One of the young rising stars in the APNU and in the country. And we are talking tonight. He's from Mahaica and Good Hope, Mahaica. Young man, young businessman. He went to St. Stanislaus President's College. He's doing a degree in business management. So well-rounded young man, and you hear him here talking about sports. Ravoldo, let's go back to mining because we are an oil and gas nation, and I'll talk to you a little bit later about oil and gas. But people seem to think that we should only concentrate on that and that we should forget about the other areas of our economy like agriculture, mining, and so forth. Is that a smart attitude to take, to put all our store on oil and gas and not seek to develop the other areas of the economy?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. A prime example would have been, the situation currently with our neighbors, Venezuela. They put all their eggs in one basket as it relates to their oil economy, and we can see currently where they're at. So I would say that we need to diversify this country. We need to have, the agricultural sector being upgraded, agriculture should be a key aspect of the generating revenue within this country, because we should not only focus our energies towards the oil sector alone. Agriculture should be a vital part of what we have going on in this country. We should be able to supply ourselves, cater for the needs of the food demand within this country, and to be able to export even to countries worldwide.
And the part of the country that you come from the Mahaica agriculture. They used to do a lot of agriculture there. I don't know
Correct.
what is happening there now. Is Mahaica still a place that produces a lot of food?
From back in the day to now, the production rate would have dropped, because simple things like having access to dams and roads to get into the back dam to have your goods come out, or for you to go in to harvest or whatever it is. Simple mechanisms like those are not being put in place.
Let's talk a little bit about oil and gas. Are you satisfied that this government, the PPP government, has been distributing the resources that we are getting from oil and gas? Are you satisfied that they've been using those resources prudently?
Absolutely not. It is a blatant disrespect to the Guyanese people to be the PPP and to tell the people of Guyana that you have them at heart and the oil wealth is reaching the pockets of the common man. That is not true. I denounce that. That is not true. The wealth of this country, especially when it comes to the oil and gas sector, it is not equitable, I should say, because equality and equity are two different things. You can't cater, a large percentage for the rich and leave the common man on the back line, to just enjoy a little bit of crumbs.
A little bit of crumbs. And of course, given the nature of our society, a lot of people may feel that the Indian Guyanese community is benefiting tremendously from the oil and gas resources. Is that true?
I am not benefiting. I am an Indo Guyanese, and I could tell you I am not benefited. So that is untrue. That is untrue. I would not put this down to any race. Guyanese as a whole are not benefiting as they should from our natural resources in this country.
Yes, go ahead.
I would say leaving out the distribution of cash grants, because they give you a cash grant whenever they feel like, whenever election is around the corner, whenever it is whenever it is beneficial to them, that the PPP I'm talking about here. So I would say that the policies, even to make sure that the oil wealth is trickled down to the common man, and those policies are not being put in place. I don't know if they're brain dead or if they truly don't have the people at heart.
Whether they have the people at heart or not. Ravoldo Birbal is here tonight, and we are talking about a range of issues. Ravoldo is a young man, 23 years old. He's a candidate on the APNU list for the upcoming elections, and he gave that riveting, I think I used that term already, speech at the launch, the APNU launch, and so many people were impressed with the young man. He's here tonight, and we are talking about politics and policies and so forth. Ravoldo, the government spends, at least the last couple of budget, almost about 57% of the budget has been spent on infrastructure. And it is said, well, infrastructure is needed in the country, and the government is investing in infrastructure as a means of securing our future. But there's also the other criticism that all the money that is going into the infrastructure is being funneled to large contractors who are part of the friends, family, and favorite of the PPP. Your take on that issue of the big infrastructure spending?
I concur that infrastructure plays a vital role in the development of a country. However, you cannot put infrastructure at the forefront and people don't have food on their tables. That is my standpoint. You cannot have infrastructure at the forefront when the needs of our people are not being met. As I said before, it is the elite few who are benefiting from the construction sector at the moment. They have their friends, families, and favorites, their network, that is benefiting from the construction sector in this country. And the common man is left begging for a fair share.
The common man.
You are importing, or you are bringing in contractors from other countries, and you have qualified individuals, companies with proven track record in this country, and you're not giving them a fair chance. You're not giving them a fair hearing. You're not allowing them to prove themselves. You're not giving them a fair share. That is corruption.
And talking about corruption, it is said that Guyana is probably the most corrupt country in the English-speaking Caribbean, in the Western Hemisphere. Why is corruption a bad thing? How does it contribute to the underdevelopment of a country?
So let me not, use any big term to filter this down. Corruption hinders the development of a country at large and the human resource of the country at large. Because if we have persons in government, that are stealing, that are raiding the treasury, that are, taking monies, from our system and putting it into their own pockets, we cannot have the development of our people, because the money that the people should have enjoyed, the money that should have been used to develop the human resource of this country in terms of housing, education, sports, you name it, the monies that should have been used for that, are then distributed to a selected few so that they alone can enjoy.
They alone can enjoy. Young Ravoldo Birbal here tonight, candidate for the APNU, a young man who has come out on the platform. Ravoldo, when you're young, building your career, young professional like yourself, it is often said, look, let me look after my profession, let me look after myself, let me not get into politics, let me stay away from politics, let me look after myself. You have decided that you would come out and you would take a stand and you would come out to represent the people. Why did you not succumb to that fear that if you were to come out, your career would be hindered and you would be targeted? Why did you not succumb to that fear?
Mr. Hines, I am not afraid. You know why? Because even before I came out, and this is not just for me, this goes to majority of Guyanese people, we are already oppressed. We are already oppressed. So it does not matter if I come out or not. I am already oppressed. Because if you have a corrupt regime, who caters for themselves only, you are already oppressed. When you live in a country where your voice cannot be heard, if you speak out, you will be victimized. You are already oppressed. So I felt the need to take a stand to get this corrupt regime out of office.
Well said. And do you have the support of your family and so forth?
My family, they're very supportive of me. They support me in every way possible. At the rallies, you would see them. So it is not a question whether my family supports me. They do.
And in your community, how are you treated in the community, especially by supporters of the PPP?
The people in my community are very proud of me. They are proud of the stance that I would have taken regardless of political affiliation. They know that I am a people person and I will represent the people, not based on their political affiliation, their ethnicity, whatever class they may be termed into. They know I will represent the people.
And as I observe the cadre of young people in the APNU, and as we move from rally to rally at Congress Place and so forth, there seems to be such a strong camaraderie among you all of different ethnic groups there. Talk to us about that experience of coming into the APNU family. How have you been treated? How do you feel? Do you feel that, did you have a difficult time fitting in? Talk to us.
So I was on the back lines of this party for quite a number of years. After I would have turned 18, I would have followed this party ever since, I was conscious of what politics is. And when I came to the forefront during this election campaign, you still have a doubt because you don't know what the front line looks like. And I must say, from the first time I stepped into Congress Place, I was greeted as if I was one of their own from many years ago. I must say that. So, to say that the APNU is not a multi-ethnic party, it is it is absolutely false. I denounce that. We are a multi-ethnic movement that caters for all Guyanese. Our founding members, had different ethnic backgrounds. That is of the PNCR, you know. So I would say that our party is a multi-ethnic movement that caters for everyone, regardless of your ethnicity. And I was greeted with open arms, I must say.
Greeted with open arms. And as you go on the campaign trail, it is no secret that the majority of the people who attend, certainly the launch and like last night in Melanie, the vast majority of people in the audience were African Guyanese. How have they responded to you? The crowd, the audiences.
I feel the love, Dr. Hines. That's all I would say. I feel the love.
You feel the love. You feel the love. Young Ravoldo Birbal here tonight talking to us about a range of issues. Ravoldo, one of the big things is education. You went to St. Stanislaus, you went to President College, you were in university, and so forth. And young people like yourself, education is very important in terms of social mobility, in terms of moving up in life. Yet, when we look around our country, we see so many of our young people falling by the wayside. The dropout rate in high school, secondary school is 50%, meaning of those who enter at Form 1, for one, I don't know what grade it is. By the time they get to CXC, half of them would have dropped out. And so therefore, we still suffer in this country from our people not getting as much education, formal education, as they should. How would you advise the APNU to go about trying to rekindle an interest in education again? How do we change the education structure to ensure that our young people go through the system and come out successful?
First of all, I must say that this current regime, they boast about the great returns from their investment that they would have made in education. But when you look at places in the hinterland, the people there are not getting the adequate resources, the adequate facilities, the adequate environment for them to prosper in education. So I think that we need to start from there. You can't have one region educated and you have the hinterland suffering for education. What is it? Do you not want to educate our people? That is my question to those in charge at the moment.
And the APNU, of course, has said that it would invest a lot in education. And you make the point there that not a single person from the hinterland, not a single child from the hinterland has gotten a place at the Queen's College or one of those top schools.
Correct.
And that is a scandal. That is a scandal.
Even
even at the tertiary level, they came and they say they made education free, the PPP that is. The education was free under Burnham. It was that man who implemented free education. It was his idea, the brainchild of Burnham, for free education to be a part of the system in Guyana. And it was in 1994 when the PPP came to power, they completely scrapped that. They scrapped free education. In 2013, they raised the University of Guyana fees to, I think, approximately 1,000 US dollars at that time. And now they're coming to tell you in an election year that they have implemented free education. When in an election year, you have come to tell people that CXC will be free up to 8 subjects. When in an election year, when you want the vote of the people, I say no, we will not be fooled again. We will not be taken for granted again. Vote them out.
Vote them out. Ravoldo, you would have in real time experienced what the rest of the country experienced when that young 11-year-old child disappeared and turned up dead. And to this day, the country does not know how that child died. And this government appears not to be interested in getting to the truth. What are your thoughts on the Adriana Young incident?
The system has failed that young child. The system has failed the family of that young child and countless others in this country, because you have a clear case of a murder being committed, a body being moved into a place that it was not at for a specific time period, and then suddenly the body is there. Come on, a stupid man can tell you that that was murder, and people should be charged for murder and accessory to murder, because there are many who should be held accountable for that child's death.
Many who should be made accountable for that child's death. Presidential candidate Aubrey Norton said that within the first 100 days, his government will do everything to ensure that there is an impartial investigation to ensure that the truth comes out about how that child was murdered. Of course, you support that move, do you?
I say to the Guyanese people, do not be fooled. You are the president. That child was murdered months ago. You have the executive power in this country to bring in whichever organization, whichever independent organization, whether it be the FBI, you can request them to come. But now that election is near, you want to tell the people that you will have this fixed within the first 100 days in office. This should have been fixed the very night that young lady went missing. I say it is absolute nonsense coming out of the president's mouth.
Yes. The president, they needed to fix that. And the APNU says that it will ensure that it is fixed when they get into office. When they get into office. Exactly. Ravoldo, the PPP, a few months ago, they were saying they would win this election. Some were saying they win with 2/3 majority. We heard the president at Albion yesterday saying that they need 55,000 votes from Berbice, almost begging Berbice to vote for them. Talk to us about that. Are they running scared?
The PPP should be running scared. The green wave is on the move. We are vibrant. We are alert. We are not going to be brainwashed. The people of Guyana, they have spoken. They want them out. 2/3 majority, utter nonsense. This country is never a 2/3 race. It is always between 50, 48%, give or take. So don't let them fool you with this propaganda that they will be running away with this election. They want you to think that they will be running away with this election so that they can start their rigging. They want you to believe that a landslide is coming because they are planning a landslide by rigging this election. But I say to them, we are alert. We know what the PPP is like, and we will not accept whatever they have planned to rig this election.
And of course, young people, the youth, there's a lot of emphasis on the youth. All the political parties are going after the youth. What's your message to the youth, to the young people, as they decide which of the parties they would vote for?
I see a lot of young people being carried away with the win political movement. I say to them, if they offer you money, take their monies, because you cannot defraud the state of millions or billions of dollars. Then you play saint and come to me and give me a little pittance, a little, a few dollars, so that I can support you and you can have my vote. I say to them, accept their money and vote them out. Vote for the PAM, vote for the APNU. That is where you will be considered. We have a plan for every Guyanese.
Young Ravoldo Birbal here tonight, quite a confident young man. What a find for the APNU. For the last hour, we have been talking here about a range of issues. Ravoldo, is there anything that you really want to talk about that I didn't ask you about? Now is your time to talk about those things.
Dr. Hines, I don't have much to add. You would have basically covered all bases as you always do. But my message to the Guyanese people, do not be fooled. Do not, put your lives in jeopardy for another 5 years. You know what you went through during these 5 years. You know how turbulent it was. You know what you faced. Do not let the PPP or any other political movement, there's a specific blue party, do not let them fool you. They are one and all for themselves. They're all together. Because when the youths in this country were being killed, where were those people? That is what I asked to the Guyanese population. Where was this, this so-called saint that is now here? Where was he when youths were being gunned down, when Afro-Guyanese were being gunned down across this country? Courtney Crummy Wing, Ronald Waddle, and I could go on and on and on and on. Where were they? They didn't have a voice then. But now you find yourself in a position where you're being sanctioned, So you want the vote of the Guyanese people to take you out of your trouble. And as it relates to the PPP, now after 5 years, you want to promise us what you will do for us? You had 5 plus 23, which is 28, to do all of those things, and yet you did not deliver for the people of Guyana. You did not deliver for Guyanese. So I say to the people of Guyana, vote them out. Do not put your vote in jeopardy. Vote for the PAM. We have you at heart.
We have you at heart. Ravoldo Birbal, young man who was a candidate for the APNU here tonight, a rising star. And I predict that not too long from now, this young man is going to be at the top of the game. And I don't mean game in a negative sense. I mean it in a real positive sense. Ravoldo, thank you very much for coming on to Politics 101. And I trust that this will not be the last time that you would be on.
I look forward to being on your program again. I thank you for having me. Thank you to your viewers for watching. I thank you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Young Ravoldo Birbal. Oh my, he's such a confident young man, Such a confident young man. And the thing that strikes me about that young man is you can see he's not fake. He's genuine. That's That's my impression. He's genuine. He's committed to what it is. You know, some people come into politics. Some young people come into politics, and you know, the thing is, it's a way of individually getting ahead and so on. I don't get that sense from that young man. That young man gives me the impression that he's committed, that he's comfortable, that he's confident. And that, for me, is the hallmark of political involvement. I'm so proud of him. And to your audience, another evening, another edition of Politics 101. Please, those of you who have not contributed yet to the WPA campaign fund, please do so. Those of you in Canada, I know that you are not able to use the Zelle and the Cash App and so forth. Those of you in Canada and you would like to contribute, please contact me. Please contact me. My email address is there at the bottom of the screen. If you can contact me, or you can messenger me, and I will tell you how to get your contribution to us. The same thing for those of you who are in the United Kingdom, in Europe, in the rest of the Caribbean, and you're not able to use the Zelle and all of that stuff. Please contact me. My information, my email address is there on the screen. Please contact me and I will tell you how to get your donation to us. I would like to thank all of you who have donated. You will get an acknowledgement shortly, and please continue to contribute. I'll see you all tomorrow night. What an interview tonight with young Ravoldo Birbal. Tonight is Monday night, so the week is young, and hopefully we'll get a full week's program in this week. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. You know, it's campaign season. I have to be out on the ground, public meetings, etc., etc. So some evenings we are going to miss, but I hope we are going to get at least 3 to 4 programs in this week. Until tomorrow night, thank you all again for tuning in to yet another edition of Politics 101. I'll see you all tomorrow night.